Hey guys, how are you? Happy March. Wow, it's hard to believe it's March. Soon we're gonna be blinking, it's gonna be Christmas again. Anyway, sorry, that was my apparently sad version of Santa Claus's greeting. But what I wanted to do today is this weekend, spent a lot of time reorganizing and purging my collage supplies. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So you saw the video where I created all of these art starts, and in each of these paper clips is just papers that I thought would go good together while I was cleaning out my collage supplies to kind of give me a jumping off point for pages in my art journal or in my junk journal, just based on what I have. So I thought I would do this today. It's a good warm-up exercise too, especially when you haven't been as creative because, you know, life got busy and you were doing other stuff over the weekend or doing cleaning or adult responsibilities, that kind of thing. So I thought I would try one or two of these with you today. We'll see how far we get and then go from there. But I think even though it snowed here in Michigan, I do have to tell myself it's still February. So it's February. It's still technically winter here in Michigan. It is not spring yet. So we're holding out. March is coming in, and we're going to have spring soon enough. But for now, it is still cold. So this is the journal that I created. There is a video in my YouTube history that shows how I made this. This is not the best journal I've ever made. I will admit that. It's okay. It's not the greatest, but it'll work. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to play with these. So these are just littler scraps, probably 2x3 or something like that. But because this is a smaller journal, I don't want anything super big. Like these ones are really big. I could use these in there and just tear them apart, but I think I'm going to save this for one of my big art journals. So I think I'm going to go with, I'm feeling this green, tan, yellow pattern. This has like a blue and a pink, purple. This is more of a black and white with some green. So this could go anyway. This is more of a green, red, neutral color. Even though red and green to me always feels like Christmas, I want to try it. Even though, sorry guys, I got hiccups. Even though it screams Christmas to me. This is kind of a pink and blue. There's these blue color here, so I brought some of the blue in here. So we'll see. I have the right to change my mind, so I will. It's inevitable. And then this is just a neutral, completely neutral palette. Okay, so I'm gonna do this green, but I'm gonna put this to the side in case I wanna change my mind and do pink. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a page that really speaks to me. You can do your journals in order. It's totally up to you. I tend to just go with what is speaking to me in the moment, and go from there. Like you've seen, I've done this page already. This was February 3rd. But, ooh, see, look at that. I'm already changing my mind. Going through your supplies or going through your journal kind of sparks inspiration in certain ways that I wish I could explain in sufficient words, but see, Now I'm digging the black and white with this one. With this page. See? This is what I mean, you guys. It's kismet. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We are going to change our minds for the 3rd time. See, look at that. We're 5 minutes in and I've already changed my mind 3 times. Is that traditional? Probably. For me, it seems pretty standard. Okay. I saw this was in a magazine. It's just a bunch of chairs. Something about it like spoke to me, like we're all waiting for something. Like a waiting room type of thing. Okay. So we're going for it. We're doing black and white today. All right. So I'm gonna put the chairs here. This is a black and white photo. Not photo. Print. A jelly plated. Excuse me, guys. I have hiccups. That's so unfortunate today. I use lined paper and I use my jelly plate to put black paint on the paper. And then I used what I did first was use the paper, then put some botanicals or leaves that I found on the paper and then jelly plated, or I put paint over it so it creates this negative. And then I went through and added my own doodles on the leaves. So, wow. Sorry that took so long to put through. Get through. Okay. I'm using my handy dandy like wax paper right here for the glue on my paper. This weekend I decided I got in like a mad cleaning purging area with my craft room. So I not only cleaned out a bunch of magazine pages and purged a bunch of stuff, but I also like took stuff off my desk and cleaned and took some of the paint off my desk. Because I don't know, I just felt the need to switch things up. So that's what I did. Okay, I really like this up here, but I'm digging that. Okay, so we're gonna use our scissors. I need little scissors. Okay. And I do like the straight line because this is gonna go on the edge of the page, so we're gonna get rid of that. Make this just a tad smaller. Yep, I like that. Okay. So, and you could have multiple journals that you work in. You could have one that's literally just a practice journal, or a smaller journal that kind of helps you get warmed up to creating projects or creating art. Because if you're like me, sometimes you need like a warm-up exercise to kind of get yourself going and in the rhythm. And if in the, I think they call it the creative flow. So that is what I need to tell I'm telling you, but I'm also trying to tell myself that at the same time, because I just tend to expect to just run into creative flow. It doesn't always work that way. It'd be awesome if it did, but it doesn't. So until it does, I'm going to take this paper and cut it because I like the flower on here. And by cut it, I mean just tear it. But yeah, I'll expect myself to just jump right into the creative flow, and that's just not how it works. If it works that way for you, then call it a gift and just enjoy the gift. You know? Does not work that way for me, though. I did not like that straight edge. Okay. Aging. This says aging, by the way. That's an A. Let's see. I'm gonna put that there. Oh, excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. My allergies in April and October are the worst, but also leading up to those months. So essentially, except for when everything's dead or everything's perfectly alive and it's hotter than sin, will my allergies not be bothering me. So I'll try not to sneeze on camera, but there's no promises. I really want to fit this one in here. So here's another little tip. When you tear paper this way, you're going to see the white edge. If you tear it the opposite way, you don't see the white edge. Just a little handy tip if you are into tearing the paper instead of cutting it exactly. So I don't want to cover up the aging part. I don't know why. That's just speaking to me today. Okay. I don't need that to go over onto that page, so we're just going to take that off. I don't know. I have been thinking about aging. I am not nearly old enough to be so concerned with it, but it's hard to not think about it as your time passes or your kid gets older. Mine is in full-on preteen mode, so that's fantastic. All right, so look at that. That came together so fast because I had that art inspiration. So now I can let this page lead the story in the journal, or I can do something completely different. I think that I like telling the story of aging. So, or Jing, whatever Jing is. I know that's an A. Nobody else has to care. Or no. So I'm going to get my little basket out. I have it right here of people. And get this, you guys. Look how beautiful this is. She's got the green on that's in the flowers. Guys. That feels amazing. Let's keep her there. We'll see. All right. Oh, look at this. This is from Magazine. Look how sweet she is. Let's see. What do I know? We'll keep her out for now. This lady's trying to tell us something about aging, but she's far too big for the picture. I can't even tell you guys, I literally touched probably thousands upon thousands upon thousands of pieces of paper this weekend, and it was exhausting. You want to talk about decision fatigue. Whew. Purging is hard stuff. Once I started doing it, though, I was like, okay, no, yes, no, yes. And I got in a very good creative flow. But boy, oh boy, was it rough. Some of these pictures are really big for this page, so I'm trying to find smaller ones. Those are all stickers. I told you a real time process. I like her. She's not wearing green, but I like how she's kind of thinking about what is happening in her life. Look at this lady with her hat, her weird hat. I could also do something like this, oops, with the green and the pink. Bring in some purple, but this lady cracks me up with the bitter ends. Some of these are collages from other art journals, like Somerset Studio magazines. So I am not taking credit for any of that. Ooh, you guys. I'm going in a different direction. This chick belongs here with the delicate flowers. Yes, yes, yes. That just did it for me. Look at her pink dress. Kind of reminds me of my daughter. If my daughter left her hair like that, she could, for real. But I think it just works perfectly right here. And her little ballerina shoes. All right, you guys, look at that. Look how perfect that is. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. And it only took us 15 minutes to do. So now let's find some text, because why not? My text folder notebook is getting very large, you guys. Like, it's very full, and I have to start I've started a second one because I have so many quotes. Use common sense. Yeah, right. Let's do that. I'm not here to tell people what to think. I'm just here to kind of open their eyes to different ideas. This is a quote from some person in some magazine, but I really like that. Let's see. First, I'm gonna name unhinged, strength and sensibility. Oh, that one could work. Mamma mia. It's too small, y'all. Ha ha ha. Would you? That's too big. Okay. Let me put you on pause and let me see if I can find the right quote. Okay. So I found two things. One says accountability is love in action. It's saying I'm worth the discipline, I am worth the focus, I am worth the investment. And then I just know my value. So I think I'm going to put it down here like so. So where's my glue stick? A lot of times when I do these, I'll save these quotes. I'll find them at random times in my life. And then when I journal and use them, it's an encouragement to myself and an encouragement to my future self or whatever person reads this. So I like to use positive quotes. I will use snarky quotes. Listen, I'm very sarcastic. I will use snarky quotes. I just don't always. So, okay, there we go. Accountability. So then what I will do is, let me move that out of the way. Get my little pen, or not pen. Sometimes I will use like a charcoal pencil. Like this is a graphite pencil. And I'll just go around the quote. This works better if we were gonna put, you know what? Let's do that. Okay, sorry, I'm talking to myself. I'm gonna put some clear gesso on this and then do some coloring over it. So let me put you on pause and then I will put the gesso on it and dry it. Because I don't know that you guys all wanna hear my dryer. but oh, look at, dude, it's from that's dried clear gesso. So this is the clear gesso. Our basics, it's just a, let me zoom out. It's just a Michael's brand, and I'll just put a little bit on here. I try not to get a lot to come out because I don't need a lot. But all I do is I take a little brush. Doesn't matter what kind. Just know if you always use it for gesso, it's going to get glued together essentially. So you can do this one of two ways, or you could do this a lot of ways. You can use your finger. I tend to do that sometimes. I said I was going to pause this, but I lied. I can always clean off my finger. And a lot of times when I'm painting or I'm adding color, I will use my finger just because I feel like I have more control over it than a paintbrush. And a paintbrush, you can get like the brush marks on it. You can use a silicone brush. I have a bunch of those right here. Well, not a bunch, but I have some here where you can just do this. Now, here's what I would say with the clear gesso, though, is when you use clear gesso over your magazine image, be mindful of where you're going to want to add color. If you have a person's face or a lighter part of the page, you want to go light with it, because even though it's clear and it will dry clear, it tends to, you'll see it tends to take up color on the face or whatever. But let me dry this and I'll be right back. Okay, now because I use clear gesso, you could see, yes, there's still a little bit of shine, but not like there was before. But you could see, if you look real close, you could see where the color is, or where the streaks are from the brush, which is why I said be careful, because if you use like too much on lighter areas, you're gonna see that. So now that I've used the gesso, what this allows me to do now is add color or mix media over the image without ruining the image. And again, I've said this before, and I'll probably keep saying it. Be mindful of the fact that this is paper and this is a magazine image. The more water and whatnot that you add to it, the wetter it's still gonna get, and it's still gonna like fall apart. But now, because I put gesso over it, I've protected the images underneath, and I can go through and add color. So like here, if I want to add some color around or highlight this part, I can. And then I can use my water brush wherever it went. And because this is charcoal, oh, this is not the water soluble charcoal. All right, let me find one that is. You guys, is it this one? Make sure you use a water-soluble chalk pastel if that's what you're looking for. This is not one. That's just graphite, not charcoal. Jeez, Jennifer. Oh, well, that's okay. I'm not bothered by it. But this is the Faber-Castell Pit Charcoal pencil. Couldn't tell you where I got it. Couldn't tell you anything. But I'll just go in and add marks and texture with my pen. And then I can spread some of that color around if I want. If you don't want a lot of marks on here, then you're gonna just want to go light with the color or the water soluble pencil. If you want a lot of color, then, or you want it to stay, like if I didn't want the water to move it, you're gonna pick something that's not water soluble. That's what I mean to say. And I think I want to highlight some of the green in here. So let me get a green watercolor pencil. I've moved my desk around so that I could grab my pencils, my watercolor pencils easier. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just going in and putting color down. Not super, you can do it strategically. I'm just putting color in to make it pop, because once I add water to this, this green is gonna come out just a little bit more. So you can kind of, here, let me hold it up a little bit better. You can see, and then I can bleed it into that page. Then I could take some of the color down here. And this is how I kind of bleed it into the page without that image actually being there. So, and then let's do, is that the darkest green I have? This may be the darkest one. We're gonna go around the green text right here. The green text block. And it's going to make it stand out. You see I bordered it with the green. And then even though this isn't green, if I wanted to make this blend in with the page more, I would do the green around it. That's not helping me to do it. Up in the air. So now you can see it kind of sticks out just a little bit more. I have my paper towel roll on the side over here. I keep wiping my brush on. All right, so then if I want to add pink, which my pink happens to be in here. Say I want to add some more like depth to her dress. I can totally do that. So what I'm doing, and it doesn't have to be, you can play to where the shadows are. You can play to where it's darker on the dress, or you can go completely different. This is your art. This is your masterpiece. You do it what feels best for you. Art is very subjective. Yes, there are some basic rules, but remember, rules are made to be broken. Okay, not laws. Do not break biblical laws or whatever. I'm not endorsing that, but in this instance, it's art. Nobody's gonna get hurt from my art. And see, I just made that different. I made it pop, the dress pop out a little bit more just by putting in some darker color. And I could change this. I could make this more red. I could make it more pink or darker pink or purple. And then I'm just gonna, like, if I want the color, because it's watercolor, to spread out, I can absolutely do that. Okay, so now her dress is a little more popping off the page. The chairs kind of fall into the background and she comes up a little bit more. Okay, you can also do the same thing with if you traced around her with like the black pen, say the charcoal pen. If you traced around her, and I'm gonna just do it on one side and see what happens, then she's gonna stand out even more because it's gonna create like an outline around her. Okay. And it's gonna give kind of like a shadow. Do you see that? So you see now she kind of has a shadow around this edge of her. So I really like it. It helps it to stand out more, and you know, it draws your eye to whatever image you're trying to highlight. Now, because I did that, I do want to add a little bit more color in here in my roses. And I'm just scribbling it in. I know they're white roses, but I want a little bit of color. I just want color in there. I don't really care where or how. But then I can take this and just... So now this white rose is a pink rose on my page. And it blends in with her dress. Do you see what I've been, I'm talking about? Like, yeah, I started with a color story with the images being black and white and then bringing in extra color. But the same thing applies when you use, oh, see, this is why. Oh, she was in here as a reminder. Okay. Sometimes when I see something immediately that goes with a page in my journal, I'll plop it in there as a reminder to use it. I never paper clipped it on. So what I was saying was, you can do the same thing with other colors. So if I were to choose this green, even though it's green and tan on here, I could decide, hey, I'm going to make it more of like a purple color. And so since I used clear gesso over it, it allows me to change that color using watercolor pencils or the Tim Holtz Distress crayons or gelatos or pastels or neo colors, any of that, to make it a different color. But I really like that. Very simple. Yes, this video is 30 minutes. It could have been much shorter, but this probably would take you 15 minutes to make. And it's a good starting point. And then if you have more time, you can build on it and you can do more in your journal and add more things. It's totally up to you. If you have time to do a giant page, then do a giant page. But I just want you guys to get into a habit of doing art and using it as a practice to help you create something that you're proud of, that gives you peace and puts you in that meditative state, because art and art therapy is very much needed, especially if you are very creative minded. And I think everybody is creative in their own unique way. That's a whole another soapbox that I could get on, but I'll save that for another day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me put this little page together. Again, super simple, just using supplies that you have, and just a fun process to enjoy. So I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you go do something creative. Bye.